You wake up. It's dark. Your body tells you one thing, clearly. You need the bathroom. So you get up, you go, and you lie back down, and somehow sleep doesn't come back the same way. Nearly 6 in 10 people your age go through this at least twice a night. Past 70, it's closer to 8 in 10. So if this is you, you are not broken and you are not unusual. You are, statistically, the majority. But here's the part that surprised even me when I first came across it. That walk to the bathroom, the one you're so sure your bladder demanded? For more than half of the people who take it, the bladder isn't actually why they woke up. Something else woke you first. A sound, a shift in sleep stage, simply the lighter, more fragile sleep that comes more often as we get older. And only after you were already awake did your mind reach for an explanation, and it reached for the most obvious one. I must need to go. Some clinicians describe this as a false alarm, the bladder getting blamed for something your sleep did. So the very first ritual isn't something you do with your hands, it's a habit of the mind. Practice the moment you open your eyes at 2 or 3 a.m. Before you get up, ask yourself honestly, is this truly uncomfortable? The kind of pressure that would stop me from falling back asleep anyway? Or am I just awake, guessing at a reason? If it's not truly urgent, you're allowed to just lie there and let sleep come back on its own. This one shift, catching the false alarms before you act on them, is, by itself, responsible for a large share of those extra trips. Not a supplement, not a device, just a 5-second question asked honestly, in the dark. Now, once you've got that first habit in place, the next 4 are things you actually do, in the last 2 hours before bed, and they work together, like a chain, each one setting up the next. The second ritual is about light, and not the light you're thinking of. Everyone's heard by now, phones and screens before bed are bad. But the research on this points somewhere people don't expect. It's not just the phone. Ordinary indoor lighting, your living room lamp, your kitchen light, is often bright enough on its own to delay when your body starts releasing its sleep hormone, and to shorten how long that release lasts. So in that last hour before bed, the fix isn't putting your phone away and leaving every other light blazing. It's dimming the room itself. One lamp instead of the overhead light. Let the space around you get a little darker than feels normal. You're not being dramatic, you're removing a signal that's quietly telling your body it's still daytime. The third ritual happens sitting down, about 2 hours before you plan to sleep. Legs up. Here's the part that surprises people. If you're on your feet during the day or sitting with your legs down, fluid settles quietly in your lower legs. You may not even notice a difference. But the moment you lie flat at night, that fluid doesn't just stay there. It moves back into your bloodstream, and your kidneys have to do something with it. That something is more urine, made in the middle of the night. So before bed, spend a few minutes with your legs raised above heart level, the arm of a couch, a stack of pillows, whatever's around. You're giving that fluid a chance to redistribute now, while you're sitting up and awake, instead of at 2 a.m. while you're trying to sleep. The fourth ritual is warmth, timed with more precision than most people use. About 1 to 2 hours before bed, a warm, not hot, shower or bath does something specific. It opens the blood vessels in your hands and feet, letting heat escape faster, which helps your core body temperature drop. That drop is one of the actual triggers your brain uses to start the process of falling asleep. This has been tested directly. People who time a warm shower this way, not right before bed, but in that 1 to 2 hour window, fall asleep faster and sleep more efficiently than people who shower right at bedtime, or skip it. And the fifth ritual is the simplest, and the one people resist the most, because it feels like giving something up: the cutoff. After dinner, water only, and stop drinking entirely about 2 hours before you lie down. Coffee, tea, and alcohol in the evening work directly against the hormone your body uses at night to hold urine back, so even a small amount can undo everything else on this list. If you want to drink more for your health during the day, that's exactly where it belongs. Earlier, in the afternoon, when your body can actually use it and clear it before bedtime, not after dinner. So, catch the false alarms before you act on them. Dim the room, not just the phone. Raise your legs before you lie down. Time a warm shower for that 1 to 2 hour window, and close the tap after dinner. 5 rituals, and only one of them costs you anything, and even that one is just an earlier glass of water. You don't need all five tonight. Pick the one that surprised you most and start there. Sometimes the smallest habit, just learning to ask yourself one honest question in the dark, gives you back more of your night than anything else on this list.
Now, everything so far assumes one thing, that what's waking you up is simply nocturia, the ordinary kind, the kind that comes with age. And for most people, that's exactly what it is. But there are 5 signs worth knowing, because sometimes waking up at night isn't the problem itself, it's the messenger. None of these 5 means something is definitely wrong, but each one is a reason to mention it to your doctor at your next visit. Not as an emergency, just as something worth saying out loud. The first sign is timing. Did this start suddenly, over weeks, rather than creeping in slowly over years? Gradual nocturia, the kind that builds over a decade, is usually just aging. But a real change in a short window is different, and there's research suggesting it can, in some cases, be one of the earliest signals of the heart working less efficiently than it used to, sometimes appearing before more obvious signs like swelling show up. The second sign is what comes with it, swelling in your ankles or lower legs by the end of the day. On its own, mild swelling after a long day is common, but nocturia paired with that swelling is a combination doctors specifically watch for because it can point toward how well your heart or kidneys are managing fluid. The third sign is sound. Specifically, if someone who shares a bed with you has mentioned snoring, or worse, moments where you seem to stop breathing entirely before gasping back awake. Sleep apnea is closely tied to nocturia. Treating the breathing problem often reduces the nighttime bathroom trips as a side effect, which is exactly why it's worth naming out loud to a doctor rather than assuming it's unrelated. The fourth sign is thirst, not the ordinary thirst of a hot day, but a persistent, unusual thirst alongside the nocturia, especially if it comes with unexplained weight change. That combination is one doctors specifically ask about because it can point toward blood sugar that needs a look. And the fifth sign is anything that changes the urine itself, a pink or reddish tinge, unusual foam or bubbles, or pain when you go. These are the signs that move this from mention it at your next checkup to call sooner rather than later. Here's the number that makes all 5 worth taking seriously. People who get up 2 or more times a night have more than double the risk of a fall-related fracture compared to people who don't. That's not from the nocturia being dangerous by itself. It's from walking, half asleep, in the dark, night after night. So even if none of these 5 signs apply to you, treating nocturia seriously is still worth it, simply because of what a single bad fall at 3 a.m. can cost you. So to be clear, none of this means panic. It means paying attention. Most nights the walk to the bathroom really is just the walk to the bathroom. But now you know the handful of signs that mean it's worth a conversation, not just a routine. Between the 5 rituals from earlier and these 5 signs to watch for, you now have the full picture. What you can quietly fix yourself, and what's worth saying out loud to someone who can actually look closer. That's really all this was ever about. Not fear, just a clearer read on your own nights.